Hello, everyone. I'm Brother Robbie Harrington. I'm the pastor of Calvary Baptist Church, and I have the privilege of serving as the chaplain of VSU football team. I'm coming with a devotion today. I hope you'll join me just for a few minutes. I promise you I'll be short, but I'm going to read just a few verses if you'll let me do that. 1 Kings chapter number 19, verse 11 and 12. I won't read the entire verses, but I want to point out some things in the verses. In verse number 11, Elijah's told to go and stand forth before God on the mountainside. And the Bible says, and behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. The Bible says in verse number 13 at the beginning of it, and it was so when Elijah heard it. Heard what? That still small voice, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering of the end of the cave. And so Elijah here is looking for answers. If you go and you read, you know the Bible, you know where Elijah is at right now in his life. At the beginning of this chapter, he's running from Jezebel. She's out to kill him. He finds himself under a juniper tree. He tells the Lord it is enough. He doesn't want to go on. He's done. He's through. And he needs answers. And God sends him. God sends a messenger. That messenger was a Christophany. I don't have time to teach all that, but that messenger sends him to Mount Oreb, to the Mount of God. And there at the Mount of God, Elijah goes and he seeks answers. He needs a word from the Lord. But here's the thing about it. As he goes, he gets there to the mountain, and we see this wind that we read about. We see the earthquake, and we see the fire. But in each case, the Bible says that the Lord was not in those things. I looked at those things in my life and I thought, you know what? There's so many distractions in my life. If I could title this thing, it would be Canceling Out the Noise, because there's so many things that are boisterous and so many things that are loud that try to steal my attention or try to take me away from the Lord. And here Elijah had the same things. As a man of God, he had struggles just like you and I have. But the Bible says that these distractions, the wind, the earthquake, the fire, all these things was working against him. Why? Because the Lord wasn't in them. And what the Lord was in was a still small voice. And I'm thankful this morning that you and I have a still small voice that God has given to us in his word. And if you and I will get alone as Elijah did, and we'll seek after and we'll listen for that still small voice, we can cancel out all the distractions and we can get alone with God just for a little bit. My challenge to you this morning or today is that you cancel out the noise. Put aside the distractions, whatever they may be in your life. I'm not going to name them because distractions are different for everybody. But recognize that there are distractions in your life and the Lord's not in them. And seek to hear that still small voice. I hope you have a wonderful day. And listen, if you're worrying about recognizing that still small voice, Jesus said in John chapter number 10 and verse number 27, he says, my sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. Don't worry about it. I promise you this, you'll recognize the voice of the one that saved you. I love you. I hope you have a great day today. God bless you.